Hey, are you there? I whispered into my phone for what felt like the 100th time. No answer. The screen stared back at me with that cruel, indifferent black glow. I dropped onto my bed, my chest tight, hands trembling. Dude, she's not answering again. Armin's voice came through the line, calm but concerned. I don't know, man. I don't get it. One day she's all in, smiling at me like I'm the only person that matters, and the next, nothing. Just, nothing. My words felt heavy, stuck in my throat. Armin sighed. I know it hurts, bro. But maybe you should give her space. She'll call when she's ready. Space? I've been giving her space for weeks. I shouted, even though my room was empty. I sent texts. I called. I left messages. I don't understand why she's just ignoring me. Did I do something wrong? Maybe it's not you, he said softly. Sometimes people change. It's not always about something you did. I laughed bitterly. Change? You mean she just stopped caring? Like she can flip a switch and erase years of everything. Like I meant nothing. My fingers clenched the edge of the bed. Do you think, maybe she never loved me? Armin was silent for a moment. I don't know. But you can't let this break you. You're better than feeling like this every day. Better? I asked, voice shaking. I don't feel better. I feel hollow. Like a part of me was ripped out. My phone buzzed again. Another notification. Another ignored message. My stomach turned. I know, bro. I know it sucks. But maybe she's showing you who she really is. And maybe, his voice faltered. Maybe it's better to see it now than later. I clenched my fists. Better? Is it better to realize someone you trusted could just vanish? I can't do this, Armin. I can't just sit here and wait for her to remember me. I swallowed hard, tears threatening to fall. I just want my life back. I don't even know what that means anymore. Hey, look at me, he said, his voice firmer now. I know you feel broken, but you're not alone. You have me. You have friends who actually care. You can't let her control your happiness like this. I can't imagine moving on, Armin. I can't even imagine a day without hoping she'll call. I pressed the phone to my chest. Every ring, every message alert, my heart jumps, thinking it's her. And it's never her. It's nothing. There was a pause. You remember how we used to talk about her, right? How you said she was perfect for you. Yeah. I laughed, hollow. I was so sure, so blind. I thought she was my person. My forever. My throat tightened. And now, she's gone. Just, gone. Like I was never even here. You're not her. You're real. And you're not broken beyond repair, Armin said, quietly but firmly. You'll find a way through this. I promise. I don't know if I can, I admitted, my voice barely above a whisper. I feel like every part of me is shattered. I keep replaying our last conversation. I keep thinking, if I had just said this, if I had just done that, maybe she wouldn't have left. But it's too late now. Everything's too late. You can't keep blaming yourself, man. She made her choice. Not you. I closed my eyes, remembering her face one last time before the door slammed. The light in her eyes that used to make me feel alive, gone. Replaced by cold distance I could never reach. She ignored my calls for weeks, Armin. Weeks. I shouted, my voice breaking. Do you know what that feels like? To reach out to someone you love, and get nothing. Nothing back. I get it, he said softly. I really do. But you're stronger than you think. You'll see. One day, you'll laugh about this. You'll look back and realize you were worth more than this pain. I shook my head, tears finally spilling. I don't want to laugh. I don't want to look back. I just wanted her to care. Even a little. But she didn't. Then we'll figure out the rest together, Armin said. I won't let you fall apart. I wiped my tears, taking a shaky breath. Thanks, man. I don't know what I'd do without you. You'll see, bro, he said, a hint of a smile in his voice. This is just the beginning. You'll rise from this, trust me. I stared at my phone, still buzzing with unanswered messages. I whispered to myself, I hope, someday, I'll find myself again. And maybe I'll be stronger than she ever imagined. I opened my phone and froze. Her new posts were everywhere. Laughing with someone else, smiling like I had never existed. My chest tightened, and a bitter laugh escaped me. No way, she's with him. I muttered, my fingers hovering over the screen. Wait, what? Who? Armin's voice crackled through the call. Don't even start, Armin, I snapped. Look at this. I sent him a screenshot. He sighed. Wow. I didn't expect her to move on this fast. Fast? She moved on like I was just some forgotten mistake. Weeks, Armin. Weeks. Did she ever care at all? I shouted, pacing my room. Man. I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't cut it. I slammed my fist on the desk. Do you know what it feels like to scroll through every picture, every happy memory, and see it all erased by someone else? I trusted her. I loved her. Bro, take it easy, he said. I get it, I really do. But maybe you should talk to someone, maybe even her, if it helps closure. Closure. I laughed, bitter and low. There's no closure in betrayal. You can't text someone to erase the way they tore your heart out. She didn't just leave me. She walked over me, and then she moved on like it was nothing. You want to confront her? Armin asked quietly. I shook my head, even though he couldn't see me. No. Confrontation doesn't fix anything. It won't bring back trust. It won't undo the humiliation. My voice cracked. I went to ask a few friends if they knew anything, guess what? Everyone knew. What do you mean? Armin asked. I mean, all the people I thought were neutral, they knew she was planning this. No one told me. Everyone watched me suffer while pretending it was nothing. My hands shook. Do you understand how that feels? To realize the people you trusted were lying, hiding, smiling at you while knowing the truth. Damn, that's rough, he said softly. I had no idea it was that bad. Bad? Armin, it's worse than bad. I'm furious. Humiliated. And empty. I sank onto the bed, staring at the ceiling. How could she be so selfish? How could she just throw everything away? Sometimes people are self-absorbed. Not everyone can value what they have, Armin said. Not everyone. I laughed bitterly. I gave her everything. My time, my heart, my stupid belief that we were forever. And for what? So she could trade me in for some excitement. My chest tightened. I replay every memory, Armin. Every smile, every promise, it was all fake to her. Or maybe she never cared at all. Maybe I was the fool all along. You're not a fool, Armin said, firm. You love genuinely. That's more than most can do. I shook my head. Loving genuinely doesn't matter if the other person doesn't even notice. If the other person can erase you like a bad dream. I don't know if I'll ever forgive her, or anyone who stood by and did nothing. "Hey, hey, don't let this destroy you," he said, his voice gentle. "It's okay to be angry, to feel betrayed, but you can't let it consume you. You need to channel it, not drown in it." I clenched my fists. Channel it? Maybe you're right. Maybe I won't be the same anymore. I won't be that naive fool waiting for her calls. I'll make sure she realizes what she threw away. Not for her, but for me. For myself. "That's the spirit, man," Armin said, his tone lifting. "Use this anger. Focus it. Rebuild. Don't just react, grow." I pressed my face into my hands, muttering, "I can't believe I'm even thinking about moving on while she's pretending she's happy. I want her to feel something. Anything. Just to know what it's like to lose someone who truly loved her." "You're human," Armin said quietly. "Feeling this way, it's natural. But don't let it turn into bitterness. Trust me." "I don't want to be bitter," I whispered, staring at her photos again. "But I can't stop thinking about the betrayal. I trusted her more than anyone. And now I know how fragile people's loyalty really is. Everyone I counted on, they were silent. Watching." "Yeah, that's the worst part," Armin admitted. "But think, this is your wake-up call. You're stronger than you think. You'll survive this, and you'll come out sharper, smarter, and unshakable." "I hope you're right," I said, voice soft but filled with a new edge. "I hope I can survive this," and then, I swallowed. "Then I'll never let anyone treat me like that again. Ever." "Exactly," Armin said. "Not ever." I hung up and stared at the ceiling again, silent tears sliding down my face. For the first time in weeks, the anger inside me felt controlled. Like a storm harnessed, ready to build something new. I whispered to myself, "I'll never be the same." And maybe, that's exactly what I need to be. "Okay, seriously, when was the last time you slept?" Armin asked, shaking his head as he leaned against the counter. "I slept," I mumbled, pouring coffee into a chipped mug. "Just, not well. My mind won't shut off." "Your mind won't shut off because you keep replaying her face every hour." He smirked. "You need a hobby, man. Or at least a distraction that doesn't involve staring at your phone like it's some magic portal to happiness." I scoffed. "Easy for you to say. You're not the one who got discarded." "Discarded? Bro, you sound like a vintage furniture piece. Listen, you can either sit there moping or actually do something with your life." He grinned, nudging me. "And trust me, doing something is way better than crying into ramen noodles every night." I let out a dry laugh. "Fine. But where do I even start?" "Start small. Job. Gym. Social life. Whatever you've been ignoring because of, well, you know who." I groaned. Yeah. The usual self-help speech. Got it." A week later, I found myself staring at a small office, heart pounding. A sign read Zara Consulting, Career Development and Mentorship. I hesitated. Do I really need this? I muttered to myself. Do you want results or excuses? A voice interrupted. Sharp, confident, not unkind. I turned to see a woman in her early 30s, eyes piercing but warm. I think I'm here for guidance, I said, suddenly nervous. Zara smiled faintly. You think? Or you know? I want to get my life back on track, I admitted, feeling exposed. Good. But be warned, wanting isn't enough. You have to work hard. And I mean harder than you've ever worked to avoid being bitter or stuck. I swallowed. I'm ready. Good, she said, walking me through the office, papers rustling. Step 1, quit looking back. Step 2, focus on building something they can't ignore. Step 3, grow. Not for revenge. For yourself. Not for revenge, I repeated. Sounds harder than I thought. Most things worth doing are. Her smile was brief, but encouraging. Now, tell me your plan. I hesitated, then spoke honestly. I don't have one. I've been so focused on the loss, I didn't even consider rebuilding. I guess. I want to focus on my career. On myself. Good. Then let's start with your strengths. What makes you valuable? What do people see when they see you? I'm dependable. Creative? I shrugged. I used to help people, take initiative. Stop shrugging. Own it, she said firmly. That's your foundation. Everything else we build on that. Over the next few weeks, I met with Zara regularly, each session stretching my limits. You're capable of more than you think, she'd say, pushing me to take projects I never believed I could handle. One evening, Armin stopped by. Hey, man. You look different. More awake. Less haunted. I laughed softly. Haunted? Maybe. But yeah, I'm trying. Zara's been tough. But I think it's helping. Good, he said, grinning. You're finally moving, not just spinning in misery. I feel small victories, you know. Finished a project today, got praised. It's like I'm reclaiming myself. See? That's the start. One step at a time, bro. I leaned back, letting the words sink in. I forgot what it feels like to just be proud of myself. To not rely on someone else's approval. Armin raised an eyebrow. Feeling proud, dangerous territory. You might start enjoying life without crying over the past. Exactly, I said with a smirk. I might even start laughing again. Zara pushed me to network, to meet people, to step into spaces I avoided. Each interaction was a mix of anxiety and empowerment. One day, after a particularly grueling session, she said, "See? You survived. And you didn't crumble. That's progress." I didn't think I could, I admitted. I kept thinking I was broken. You weren't broken. You were distracted by betrayal. Focus gives clarity. Pain gives fuel. Channel it. Don't let it define you. I nodded, feeling a quiet fire ignite inside me. Channel it, not let it define me. Got it. Back at home, Armin called me. So, are you finally done staring at your phone like a fool? I laughed. Almost. I've been busy living my life. You'd be proud. Proud? He teased. I might cry. I'm serious, Armin. I feel alive again. Every small step I take feels like reclaiming a piece of myself. And that's how it starts, he said. The comeback. The real you, not the one she thought she could destroy. I stared out the window, feeling the weight of weeks of pain lighten. Yeah. The real me, stronger, sharper, moving forward. Are you sure you want to go? Armin asked, frowning as we stood outside the hall. I mean, she's going to be there. I know, I muttered, gripping my drink. But avoiding it won't change anything. I need to see how she's really doing. Armin shook his head. Just remember, don't let your anger take over. You've been doing well. Don't ruin it now. I won't, I said, though my heart pounded. I kept telling myself that. But the moment we stepped inside, I froze. She was there. Standing in the corner, laughing with a group of people, her head tilted slightly, eyes sparkling with that same careless arrogance. I felt it, the old ache, but something had shifted. I wasn't the same anymore. I muttered under my breath, she has no idea who I've become. Focus, Armin whispered, nudging me. Just, stay calm. I nodded, though inside I was a storm. My eyes couldn't leave her. She didn't even notice me at first. That arrogance, the way she carried herself, like she owned the room. Do you see her? Armin asked quietly. I see her, I said, voice low. And I don't feel hatred. Not really. Just proof. Proof that I can survive this. We moved through the crowd, and she finally looked my way. Her eyes flickered briefly, just enough to show recognition, but she didn't approach. She smiled lightly at someone near her and turned back, ignoring me completely. I clenched my jaw. She's so indifferent. Exactly, Armin said. That's why you need to keep your head clear. Don't react. Don't give her the satisfaction of knowing she still affects you. I let out a slow breath. I can do that. I will. I'm not the same person who waited by the phone for her calls. I'm better. A few moments later, one of her friends, someone I vaguely knew, passed by. Hey, you're here, they said, eyebrows raised. I didn't expect to see you. Yeah, just wanted to see some familiar faces, I said, forcing a smile. Nice, they replied, glancing toward her. She's different lately. Confident. Seems like nothing can touch her. I froze. My mind raced. Was it arrogance or insecurity? Either way, I reminded myself silently, this isn't about proving her wrong. This is about proving myself right. She's playing games, I muttered to Armin under my breath. He nodded. Some people never change. Don't get pulled in. You're stronger now. Remember that. I watched as she laughed, the motion fluid, her voice carrying across the room. I felt a strange mixture of nostalgia and resentment. I used to crave that laugh, I admitted quietly. Now, it just reminds me why I had to leave. You're not leaving now, Armin said. You're standing tall. That's what matters. A rival from the gathering, someone who had always tried to undermine me socially, leaned over. You're staring a lot, they teased. Jealous? I smiled faintly. Not jealous. Observant. Good answer, Armin whispered, elbowing me lightly. See? You can handle this. I continued to watch her from a distance. I noticed the subtle gestures, how she leaned slightly forward when speaking to someone, the little smirks she gave to certain acquaintances. Arrogance. Or maybe control. Either way, I felt a surge of quiet satisfaction. She thinks she still has power, I muttered. But I'm not her anymore. I don't need her to validate me. You never did, Armin said firmly. Remember that. I nodded, letting the thought sink in. Slowly, my chest unclenched, the tightness fading. I felt lighter. Stronger. Like I was reclaiming a part of myself she had tried to take. You okay? Armin asked, sensing my shift. I am, I said, finally smiling. I'm more than okay. I'm seeing clearly now. Good, he said. Just don't lose focus. Tonight isn't about her. It's about you. I looked back once more. She was laughing again, surrounded by people who seemed impressed by her every word. And I realized. I wasn't watching her for validation anymore. I was watching her because I could. Because I had survived her indifference and betrayal, and I was still standing. She's just a shadow now, I whispered. A shadow of the past I no longer need to chase. Armin clapped me lightly on the shoulder. Exactly. Keep moving forward. Every step counts. I smiled, letting the tension drain from my body. Every step counts, I repeated. And for the first time in months, I meant it. Hey, you did it. Khalid's voice pulled me from my thoughts as I walked into the cafe. Did what? I asked, trying to hide the small smile tugging at my lips. The presentation. Everyone's talking about how well you handled it. He grinned, sliding into the seat across from me. Seriously, man, I'm impressed. I shrugged, pretending casualness. It went, okay. Nothing spectacular. Nothing spectacular. He laughed. You were confident, organized, you didn't even stumble once. Come on, own it. I chuckled softly. It feels different, you know. Last year, I'd have been shaking in my chair, worried about every little thing she might think. Khalid raised an eyebrow. She. Oh, that one. I froze for a second, then nodded. Yeah, the one who left me hanging, pretending I didn't exist. Khalid's expression softened. I get it. But you look happy. Strong. Like you're finally free of that weight. I am, I admitted. I'm not running from it anymore. I focus on myself. Every little win feels like reclaiming a piece of me I thought I'd lost forever. Good, he said, smiling. That's exactly how it should be. No one gets to define your worth except you. I took a sip of my coffee, letting the warmth calm me. I ran into her last week. Her? Really? Khalid asked. Yeah, I said, feeling a twinge of something, anger, maybe pride. At a gathering. She didn't even notice me. Arrogant as ever. But this time. I didn't feel crushed. I felt powerful. Calm. I realized I don't need her approval anymore. Khalid nodded. That's huge. Most people would have lost themselves in that encounter. I thought I would, I admitted. But seeing her, just reminded me how far I've come. I've built myself back up, piece by piece. And it's satisfying, quietly. Not to gloat, not for revenge. Just proof to myself. You've changed, he said softly. I like the new you. Thanks, I said, feeling a warmth spread inside me. I needed someone to see it. Someone who isn't part of the past. Happy to be that person, he said, giving me a reassuring smile. And hey, don't hide it. Your progress is yours to celebrate. I laughed lightly. I'm learning. Slowly. It still feels strange to let myself enjoy small victories without thinking of her. You deserve it, Khalid said firmly. I've seen how hard you've worked. The late nights, pushing yourself, it's paying off. People notice. Not just me. I nodded, eyes drifting briefly to my phone. A notification popped up, a picture she had posted. The familiar smile, the carefully curated image of perfection. I felt a brief pang, but this time, it was tempered by satisfaction. I could see clearly now, she was playing the same old games, while I was building something real. She hasn't changed, I muttered. Nope, Khalid said. And that's fine. You're too busy living to care. I smiled, letting the thought settle. Exactly. I'm too busy thriving to worry about someone who didn't even consider me worth a call. Later, at the office, my colleagues gathered around. Hey, congrats on the project, one said. You really stepped up. Thanks, I said, feeling the weight of genuine recognition. Not forced, not fake. Just acknowledgement for the effort I'd put in. Your presentation was sharp, another added. You've really grown. I nodded, quietly proud. I've been focusing on doing my best. That's all. Walking back to my desk, I thought about her again. It's strange, the contrast between our lives. She flaunts her social connections, smiles for the camera, chasing temporary attention. I'm building something permanent. Something that matters. Later, Khalid and I went for a walk. "You're different," he said, hand brushing mine. "Calmer. More grounded." "I've had to be," I said softly. "I lost a lot. But I've learned even more. I'm not the same person she left behind. Not at all." "That's inspiring," he said, squeezing my hand gently. "And it's not just about her. It's you, reclaiming your life. That's what matters." I nodded, heart swelling. "Yeah. It's me. And it feels good. Real. Not like the shadows of the past following me." "Good," Khalid said, smiling. "Because you deserve this happiness. All of it." I laughed softly. It still feels weird to admit it. But I think I'm finally ready to embrace it. No guilt. No doubt. Just moving forward. "And I'll be right here," he said, cheering you on. I looked at him, really looked, and felt a quiet contentment. "Thanks, Khalid. I think this is exactly what I needed. Someone who sees me for me, not the past." He smiled. "Exactly. And the best part? You've built yourself from the ashes. Nothing can take that away." I felt the words sink in. The fire of betrayal that once consumed me had transformed into fuel. I was thriving now, quietly but undeniably. And for the first time in months, I believed that the future, my future, was mine to shape. I saw it first on a mutual friend's story, her face, smiling, but the caption hinted at trouble. Rent overdue, a small panic about bills, and a barely hidden frustration in her tone. My stomach twisted. "She's struggling," I muttered under my breath, phone clutched in my hand. Armin's voice came through. "What did you see?" "Her life isn't as perfect as she makes it seem. She's panicking about money, social drama, everything she hides behind that fake smile." "Careful," Armin warned. "You've come a long way. Don't let this pull you back into bitterness." "I know," I said slowly. "But it's tempting, isn't it? To just let things unfold. Watch her stumble a little, subtly." "Tempting, yes," he said. "But don't act recklessly. Karma can do its work if you just stay out of the way." I paced, thinking. Maybe I don't have to act directly. Maybe just positioning myself, being smarter, letting her moves backfire naturally. "Exactly. That's the way," Armin said. "Play chess, not checkers." I scrolled through more posts. Her friends were there too, laughing in photos, throwing subtle jabs at her insecurities, bragging about connections. Opportunists feeding off her social facade. I shook my head. She thinks everyone's loyal. She doesn't even realize how shallow these people are. "Shallow people make for quick lessons," Armin said. I smirked. Quick lessons, yes, for her. And I won't lift a finger. Not yet. I'll just let the ripple begin. Later, I bumped into one of her acquaintances at the cafe. "Hey, didn't expect to see you," they said. "Still, running the same circles?" "Yeah, things change," I said smoothly. "People show their true colors eventually." "Oh," they raised an eyebrow. I leaned in slightly. "Some people pretend to be perfect, but cracks appear. It's inevitable." They laughed, a knowing glint in their eye. "Yeah, tell me about it. Some people really can't keep up the act." I smiled faintly, sipping my coffee. "Exactly. And when the act fails, it's enlightening to watch, isn't it?" They chuckled. Enlightening. That's one word for it. I left the cafe, feeling a strange satisfaction. Not glee, not revenge yet, just awareness. The knowledge that her life was unraveling, subtly, naturally. I didn't need to push, it was happening on its own. Later, I called Armin. You know. I keep thinking. Should I intervene? Nudge things along. Why? He asked. For satisfaction. Don't forget, this isn't about revenge for you anymore. It's about clarity, growth. I know. But, seeing her cracks, it's like a whisper. A test of my restraint. Then let the whisper guide you. Don't act on it. Let her actions reveal herself. I sighed. You're right. I'll observe. Learn. And stay untangled. Days later, I overheard gossip at a networking event, her trying to secure favors, asking friends for loans, laughing too loudly to hide panic. The contrast between her performance and reality was stark. I leaned toward a friend, voice quiet. It's fascinating, isn't it? How some people invest everything in appearances, only to crumble when it counts. They nodded. Yeah, some people can't fake it forever. Truth has a way of leaking out. I smiled faintly. Exactly. And all I have to do is, keep living. Thrive quietly. Let the cracks grow naturally. Later that night, I couldn't stop thinking. Should I say something? A hint, a subtle reminder of reality? No. That's not me. I've grown beyond petty acts. I let the universe handle it. My satisfaction comes from my own life, not her downfall. She's human, I whispered to myself. She's vulnerable, flawed, just like I used to feel. But I'm not her anymore. I won't stoop to cruelty. I'll stay above it. Let the world reveal her, and I'll just exist, thriving. I thought about the moral dilemma, acting or observing, intervention or patience. My anger surged briefly, tempered immediately by clarity. I could feel power in restraint. Quiet, controlled. Strategic. I texted Khalid, long day. Let's grab dinner soon. His reply was instant, absolutely. Can't wait. I smiled. My life was moving forward. Full of real people, real connections, and real growth. The whisper of revenge was there, yes, but it wasn't mine to claim. I was too busy building myself to chase shadows. And that was enough. I saw it before anyone told me. A mutual friend's story, then whispers in the office, her lies, her manipulations, her carefully built facade crumbling. I couldn't help but watch, quietly, from a distance. Did you hear? Armin's voice came through my phone. She got exposed. All of it. Her friends, they're walking away. I nodded, though he couldn't see me. Yeah. I saw. Not that it matters to me anymore. But, it's surreal. The girl who ignored everything, pretending she was untouchable, I trailed off. Feels good, doesn't it? He asked cautiously. No, I said immediately. It doesn't feel good. Not like that. Relief, maybe. Closure. But not joy. I've learned now that satisfaction doesn't come from watching someone fall. It comes from knowing you've risen. Fair enough, Armin said. Still, she got what was coming. You don't have to pretend it's nothing. I exhaled slowly. I'm not pretending. I feel the difference. I'm free from her shadow. That's enough. But seeing her social circle evaporate, it's like watching a storm reveal who's left standing. Later that day, Khalid called. You okay? You've been quiet. I'm processing, I admitted. Everything she built, every little manipulation, all of it falling apart. But strangely, I feel calm. Like I can finally breathe without expecting another betrayal. That's good, he said warmly. You're seeing the result of patience and focus. Not revenge, just life balancing itself. Exactly, I said. I didn't need to act. It unfolded naturally. And I stayed untangled. That's my victory. At the office, colleagues approached me cautiously, smiles subtle but genuine. "Hey, congrats on the big project rollout," one said. "Thanks," I replied, smiling back. "I appreciate it." Another leaned closer. "I just wanted to say, last time, I underestimated you. I shouldn't have. You've really grown." I nodded, heartwarming. "I've learned to focus on what matters. That's all." A few more whispered acknowledgments came my way, small nods, quick compliments, but each one reinforced something bigger than recognition. It wasn't about proving her wrong. It was about showing the world I could thrive without her. Later, I met Armin for coffee. "So, how does it feel?" he asked, eyes searching mine. "I don't know," I said honestly. "Strange. I feel neutral. Not triumphant, not vindictive. Just settled. Closure isn't about watching her burn. It's about not needing her fire to light your own life." Armin laughed softly. "Sounds like you've changed. You're solid." "Solid, huh?" I smirked. "I'll take it. I used to be whatever she wanted me to be. Now I'm exactly me." "Good," he said, smiling. "That's the real victory." That evening, Khalid joined me for dinner. "You've been glowing lately," he said, eyes warm. "Is it her? Or you?" I laughed softly. "Definitely me. I've finally let go of the weight she put on me. And watching everything fall apart for her, it's not joy, Khalid. It's just, the world making sense." He reached across the table, squeezing my hand. "I'm proud of you. You've grown, even when it hurt the most." "I'm learning," I said quietly. "Patience, restraint, letting things unfold without me forcing them. That's harder than revenge, but it feels better. Real." A notification popped up, someone congratulating me for handling a project while she struggled publicly. I glanced at it, feeling the quiet satisfaction of balance. Not pride in her downfall, but in the fact that I had built myself beyond her influence. "People notice when you rise without dragging anyone down," Khalid said. "That's power." "Exactly," I said. "I've learned that. I don't need to play games, manipulate, or retaliate. I just exist, and I grow. That's more than enough." Armin texted me later, "She's being avoided at the next social gathering. Guess she finally realizes who's real." I smiled faintly. "Yeah. And I won't be part of it. Let her learn that herself." Walking home, I felt the weight of months of struggle lift. Every sleepless night, every tear, every moment of doubt, it had all led here. I wasn't seeking revenge, I wasn't craving validation. I had reclaimed my life. "I'm done," I whispered to myself. "Done waiting, done hoping, done fearing. I'm thriving, and that's my victory." Khalid called again, laughing. "Hey, how about a weekend trip? Celebrate the wins." I grinned, feeling light for the first time in what felt like years. "Absolutely. No ghosts from the past. Just us, and forward." Armin replied to my text, finally. "You're living, not surviving." And for the first time, it felt true. I wasn't haunted anymore. I wasn't defined by her betrayal or by anyone's judgment. I was me, stronger, calm, and free. Watching her crumble had given me no joy, no revenge-fueled satisfaction. But the quiet, undeniable acknowledgement from life, from my friends, from myself, that was everything. I smiled, walking into the night. For once, I could finally breathe. I saw her across the lobby, the place buzzing with casual chatter and background music. My heart didn't race. My hands didn't tremble. I felt calm. Centered. Armin whispered from behind me, his eyes narrowing. Are you ready for this? I am, I said quietly. I've waited long enough. Not for revenge, just for truth. She spotted me almost immediately, her eyes widening, the arrogance I remembered replaced with a flicker of panic. Oh, you're here, she said, voice uneven. Yes, I replied smoothly, stepping forward. We need to talk. She hesitated, glancing around. Talk. I didn't expect this. I know, I said, voice calm. But it's time. I've been watching, listening, seeing the cracks. Her face hardened briefly, then softened. I know. I messed up. You're saying that now? I asked, tone even. After everything? Her lips trembled. I didn't mean for things to spiral. I didn't realize. Realize what? I cut in gently. That you hurt someone who trusted you completely. That actions have consequences. I thought you'd forgive me. I thought maybe. I shook my head. I'm not here for forgiveness. I'm here for truth. Not the excuses, not the apologies. Just the acknowledgement of reality. She swallowed, gaze flicking downward. I was selfish. I ignored you. I lied. I used people. I thought I was untouchable. And now? I asked softly. Do you feel untouchable? Her eyes lifted, meeting mine, and for the first time, I saw her fully human, vulnerable, regretful, afraid. No, she whispered. I underestimated you. I didn't see the strength I'd broken. I didn't think you'd rise without me. I nodded slowly, letting the silence stretch between us. Strength doesn't come from others seeing it. It comes from living it. From surviving and growing beyond the shadows of the past. She blinked, voice trembling. I wanted recognition. I wanted to be admired. And I lost it all. But you've grown. You're remarkable. Thank you, I said quietly, the weight of her words sinking in. But this isn't about me proving anything to you. This is about me reclaiming myself. My life. My peace. Not your approval. Tears glimmered in her eyes. I didn't understand. I took you for granted. And now. I see it. I see everything I threw away. I'm sorry. I hear you, I said, voice calm. But apology isn't what I need. Closure is. She swallowed hard. Closure. Yes, I said, stepping back slightly, creating space. Closure means I recognize your mistakes, your humanity, and then I walk away. Because I don't need to linger in the shadow of your regret. I don't need validation from someone who refused me for years. Her lips parted, as if to speak, then she hesitated. I could see the frustration in her eyes, the last barrier of pride crumbling. I wish I could turn back time, she whispered. I would. I don't know, fix everything. You can't, I said softly. And that's not my burden anymore. My growth doesn't depend on your change, or your remorse. It depends on me, my choices, my strength. She nodded slowly, voice barely audible. I underestimated you. I was blind to who you were. I know, I said, smiling faintly. And that's your lesson. Mine was learning to live without you controlling my happiness. That's the difference. For a long moment, we stood there, two people connected by the past, yet separated by growth. I didn't gloat. I didn't savor her regret. That wasn't me anymore. My satisfaction was quiet, internal, complete. I I wish you happiness, she said finally, voice sincere. I see now, you deserve it. More than I ever realized. Thank you, I said simply. I wish the same for you. But we both need to live our own lives now. Independently. Fully. She nodded again, tears streaming. I understand. I truly do. I took a deep breath. Then this is it. I forgive, in my own way, not for you, but for me. I let go. And I walk forward. She opened her mouth, perhaps to protest, to ask me to stay, but I shook my head gently. No. This is the moment of closure. For both of us. I stepped away, feeling the cool air brush my skin. My heart was light, free from the weight of betrayal, regret, and obsession. I had achieved what I didn't realize I'd needed, mastery over my emotions. Control over my life. Peace with the past. As I walked out of the lobby, leaving her there, I glanced back once. Her eyes met mine, full of recognition and regret. And I smiled, not for revenge, not for power, but because I was whole. I had survived. I had risen. And that was enough. I sat on the balcony, the evening breeze brushing my face, and let myself finally exhale. The city lights below twinkled like tiny reminders that life moved on, relentlessly, beautifully. Khalid leaned against the railing beside me, his presence steady and comforting. You've been quiet, he said softly, nudging my shoulder. Thinking about work? No, I said with a small laugh. Just, life. Everything that's happened. The past, the mistakes, the growth. He looked at me with warmth. It's been a long journey, hasn't it? Too long to count, I admitted. But worth every step. Even the heartbreak, the betrayal, it led me here. To this moment. Khalid smiled. And you're stronger for it. I see it every day. You carry yourself differently now. Calm, confident, unshakable. I leaned back, letting the cool wind mix with my thoughts. I remember when I used to panic over every small thing. Over her, over friends, over every imagined slight. I thought my world depended on her, on people who didn't care. And now, he asked. Now, I said, eyes fixed on the skyline, I know my worth. My happiness doesn't hinge on anyone else. I've rebuilt myself. Every late night, every challenge, it's part of my story. And for the first time, I feel free. He reached out, taking my hand. I'm proud of you. We're proud of you. All of us. I smiled at him, then thought of Armin and Zara, their constant presence, guidance, and unwavering support. Without them, I wouldn't be here. I pulled out my phone and typed a quick message to Armin, balcony view, deep thoughts, come join. Minutes later, he appeared, smirking. Deep thoughts, huh? Should I be worried? I laughed. Depends. Can you handle honesty? Always, he said, plopping down beside me. I shook my head, smiling. I just can't believe how far I've come. Months ago, I was crushed, lost, doubting myself at every turn. And now, here I am. Thriving. Calm. Alive. Armin nodded. You've grown, man. Not just surviving anymore. You're living. Fully. And it shows. Everyone can see it. That's power. I never wanted power, I said, looking between them and Khalid. I just wanted to be whole again. To find myself. And maybe, to let karma do its work without me touching it. Speaking of karma, Armin said with a grin, she's practically invisible now. Funny how the world works, huh? I chuckled softly. It's not funny. It's natural. She made choices, consequences followed. I didn't meddle. I didn't gloat. I just moved forward. Khalid squeezed my hand. And that's why you win. Quietly, fully. No revenge needed. Just life lived well. I closed my eyes for a moment, savoring the feeling of peace. I think the hardest part was resisting the urge to go back, to prove something. But I realized, proving anything to her or anyone else wouldn't matter. Only proving to myself counted. Armin laughed. And you did. Hands down. A soft voice came from behind us. Celebrating life. Zara appeared, leaning against the doorway with her usual composed confidence. Yes, I said, standing to greet her. And reflecting. Thinking about everything I've learned. You've come a long way, she said, eyes sharp but kind. Not just professionally, but emotionally. That's the rarest growth. I couldn't have done it without guidance, I admitted. Your advice, Armin's loyalty, Khalid's patience, it all built this life I have now. Zara smiled. Then you've done exactly what you should, taken the lessons, applied them, and grown stronger. Not by revenge, not by anger, but by discipline and self-awareness. I nodded slowly. I see that now. I feel free. Free from her shadow, from past mistakes, from doubts. I'm finally myself. Khalid leaned his head against mine. And that's beautiful to see. I'm glad I get to share this with you. I smiled faintly. You've all shared more than just moments. You've shared belief. Faith that I could rebuild. And I did. Brick by brick. Heart by heart. Armin nudged me lightly. And the best part? No one can ever take it away. Not her, not anyone. You own your life. I laughed softly. Exactly. I don't need to chase anyone's approval. I don't need to watch for lies or betrayal. I'm safe in my own skin, finally. Zara's voice softened. And that's the ultimate victory. Not the fall of others, but the rise of you. I gazed at the city lights again, my mind quiet, my heart steady. I've learned that life isn't about retribution. It's about resilience, growth, and subtle justice. Karma doesn't need my interference. I just need to live. Khalid wrapped an arm around me, pulling me close. Then live. Fully. Freely. And never doubt it again. I won't, I said, smiling. I've rebuilt. I've grown. I'm free. And that feels like the truest victory of all. We sat together, letting the night settle around us, letting laughter, conversation, and quiet reflection fill the space. I didn't need her, I didn't need validation. I had life, love, friendship, and most importantly, myself. And for the first time in years, I felt completely, undeniably whole.